In the picturesque town of Leeton, New South Wales, Australia, 26-year-old Stephanie Scott was eagerly preparing for the happiest day of her life, her wedding to her childhood sweetheart, Aaron. The warm and intelligent schoolteacher, affectionately nicknamed Button Nose by her family, had been meticulously planning every detail of her perfect day for months. On Easter Sunday, April 5, 2015, she parked her car outside the school gates and met up with a colleague who lived nearby. Together, they unlocked the gate, and Stephanie kept the keys as she made her way to the English teacher's staff room. For the next few hours, she worked diligently, sending emails to confirm transportation for her wedding guests and ensuring everything was in order. Satisfied with her preparations, Stephanie gathered her belongings and headed for the gates, keys in hand. As the sun began to set, Aaron grew increasingly worried. He had been texting Stephanie throughout the day, but her typically prompt replies had ceased in the afternoon. When he returned home around 7:20 p.m., there was no sign of Stephanie or her car. The following day, after a restless night and still no word from Stephanie, Aaron contacted her family and friends. Desperate for answers, he drove to Leeton Police Station at 4:30 p.m. on April 6th to report his fiancée missing. Police immediately launched a search, deploying helicopters to scour the area while officers on the ground focused on Stephanie's last known location, Leeton High School. With few witnesses due to the Easter holiday, police zeroed in on the school's cleaner, 24-year-old Vincent Stanford. A witness reported having a strange conversation with Stanford the morning after Stephanie's disappearance, noting that he let out an inappropriate giggle and had scratches on his face when asked if he thought Stephanie might have run away due to wedding jitters. This odd behavior led police to question Stanford, who claimed he had been at the school to take out the bins, despite not being scheduled to work that day. He denied seeing Stephanie and wished the officers luck with their search. However, Stanford's story began to unravel when police discovered he had lied about going to a supermarket that was closed on the day in question. Stanford's employer also confirmed that all cleaners were on leave for that Easter weekend, and Stanford should not have been at the school at all. Suspicions grew, and a search of Stanford's home revealed a set of keys and a red and white lanyard matching Stephanie's description, fresh tire tracks leading to the backyard, a used condom, and yellow tape. When Stanford returned home, police seized his vehicle, a white Ute, finding blood-stained MDF boards in the back and a digital camera containing the first chilling images of a burnt female corpse lying in a wooded area. Initially, Stanford claimed he had downloaded the images from a horror movie and he had found them funny, further denying they were of Stephanie. But it was beyond doubt. It was Stephanie's body. Based on this evidence, Stanford was arrested. On April 9th, Stephanie's car, a Mazda that Stanford had driven and later abandoned, was found on a farm on Irrigation Way, Wamoon. A substantial amount of blood was found in the trunk and on the rear bumper, which later tested positive for Stephanie's. Stanford's DNA was also found in the car. Back at Stanford's residence, an examination was conducted in which a Mazda 3 car boot liner was found, covered in blood. The murder weapon, a knife, was also found, along with a red bra, later identified to belong to Stephanie. All items tested positive for Stephanie's DNA. A computer in Stanford's room was seized and contained horrifying surveillance footage of women and children at the school, as well as images and videos of bestiality. Stephanie's work laptop was recovered on April 10th after one witness came forward to describe seeing Stanford's car, from which a man emerged and dropped something in the canal before fleeing the scene again. The canal was searched and Stephanie's red laptop was recovered. On April 10th, the badly burnt remains of Stephanie Scott were located on the edge of the Cocoparra National Park. The cause of death was blunt force trauma, and there was evidence she had been beaten over the head 40 times before being stabbed in the neck. The once joyous atmosphere in Leeton was replaced by a suffocating fog of grief and disbelief as the community struggled to come to terms with the senseless and brutal murder of a beloved teacher just days before her wedding. Businesses closed, and classes were canceled as residents gathered for a public memorial to celebrate Stephanie's life. As the investigation delved deeper into Stanford's background, a disturbing picture emerged. Psychological tests revealed that he had been a serial killer in the making, devoid of empathy and remorse. His phone and laptop contained thousands of images of underage girls' situations, evidence of him having stalked a 12-year-old student at the school, and a history of violent outbursts dating back to childhood. Spared from the agony of a lengthy trial, Stephanie's family found a measure of solace when Stanford pleaded guilty to aggravated sexual assault and murder in July 2016. He was sentenced to life in prison for murder and an additional 15 years for sexual assault. Vincent's twin brother, Marcus, was also implicated in the crime, having helped dispose of evidence and selling Stephanie's rings. He served 15 months in prison for being an accessory after the fact. In the wake of the tragedy, Stephanie's parents, Robert and Marilyn, called for more stringent screening and assessment of employees working in schools to prevent such a horrific crime from happening again. They settled a civil case with the New South Wales Education Department, hoping to ensure that no other family would have to endure the unimaginable pain they had suffered.